What if I told you that the most persistent critic in your life, the one who never takes a day off, never misses a chance to comment, and always shows up uninvited, is your own mind? But honestly, that voice in your head is not entirely yours. Welcome back to the Personal Lens, where we explore the political through the personal. This is Jayanti, and today's episode is about something almost all of us have faced at some point: body shaming. A phenomenon that sounds personal but is, in fact, deeply political. Whether it's aunties at weddings commenting on weight, relatives telling boys to man up and look strong, Instagram filters making us doubt our bare faces, or fairness cream ads teaching generations to feel inadequate. Body shaming isn't just rude behavior. It is a cultural script, a social system, a powerful machinery that shapes how we live inside our bodies. And today we are going to unpack that machinery. So, what exactly is body shaming? Body shaming is not simply criticism of someone's body. It is the systemic policing of bodies grounded in norms created by culture, capitalism, patriarchy, caste, and colorism. It includes criticizing weight, too fat or too thin, color shaming, too dark, too pale, height shaming, too short, too tall for a girl, facial features, nose, jawline, body hair, marks and conditions, acne, vitiligo, PCOS syndrome, disability, limb differences, scars, mobility aids, gait, gendered body expectations, aging, especially women being shamed for looking older. But here's the key insight. Body shaming isn't just about the body, it's about control. It tells us what is acceptable, beautiful, desirable, and even what is moral. It defines who gets respect, who gets love, who gets opportunities, and whose bodies become punchlines. And most importantly, it teaches us to internalize shame, to police ourselves. The political roots of body shaming: patriarchy and gendered bodies. Patriarchy decides what a proper male or female body should look like. For women, thin but not too thin, curvy but only in certain places, fair skinned, hairless, neat, delicate, feminine. Now for men, muscular, tall, broad shouldered, strong looking, always in control. These visual ideals are not arbitrary, they serve patriarchal roles: women as objects to be consumed, men as symbols of dominance. The colorism and caste. India's beauty expectations are deeply tied to caste history and colonialism. Fair skin was associated with purity. High caste, respectability. Darker skin was criminalized, devalued, and associated with labor, outdoor work, and lower status. This is why fairness creams didn't appear out of nowhere. They emerged from a long political history of caste, colonial admiration for whiteness, and capitalist profit. Capitalism and the beauty industry. The global beauty industry is worth billions. Its foundation is insecurity. If people suddenly woke up and accepted their bodies, these industries would collapse. So they manufacture flaws. They sell dissatisfaction, they create problems and sell solutions. Every imperfection you've been taught to hate, your stretch marks, your freckles, your body hair, your belly fat, was turned into a flaw so it could be commodified. Now, pop culture and media reinforcement. Films, TV, advertisements, influencers, they all feed the machine. How often do we see plus-sized individuals as comic relief, fairness as aspirational, masculinity equated with abs, women's bodies being digitally edited to perfection, disabled bodies rarely shown as beautiful or desirable? Media doesn't just reflect society, it constructs it. It tells us which bodies matter. Socialization and the family. Let's be honest, in India, body shaming begins at home. Your sister is thinner, why aren't you? No boy will marry you if you look like this. Boys should look manly, you've become so dark playing in the sun. We normalize it so deeply that even children internalize it. Studies show that girls as young as 6 years old start worrying about weight. Boys begin feeling inadequate at very young ages because of muscle expectations. So, how body shaming affects us? Psychological impact: low self esteem, depression, anxiety, social withdrawal, obsessive comparison, disordered eating. People often think body shaming motivates weight loss. Research shows the opposite. It leads to emotional eating, self disgust, and avoidance of physical activity because of shame. Physical health. Stress hormones increase when we feel ashamed. This affects sleep, digestion, immunity, hormonal balance. PCOS, thyroid issues, and metabolic disorders often get misinterpreted as laziness rather than medical conditions. The social and economic consequences. Here's something we don't talk about enough. Body shaming affects opportunities. Studies show that people considered conventionally attractive are more likely to get jobs, receive higher salaries, are assumed to be competent, are treated with more respect. This is structural and it proves that beauty is political. Now, gendered consequences. Women pay a higher beauty tax. Time, money, emotional labor. Men pay a masculinity tax. Pressure to appear strong, muscular, emotionless. Non-binary and trans people face the harshest policing of bodies, demanded to pass, criticized for not fitting binary expectations, and hyper-scrutinized for every physical trait. But the saddest part, even when the external voices fade, the internal critic stays. Why? Conditioning. You've heard something long enough, you begin to believe it. Comparison culture, Instagram reels, filters, we are comparing ourselves 24/7 to curated illusions. Market manipulation, beauty industries rely on your insecurity. Their ads aren't accidental, they are scientifically designed to make you hate your reflection. Approval seeking. We associate physical beauty with love, acceptance, value, belonging, so we chase an ever shifting target. Shame as social control. Shame keeps people obedient, silent, anxious, focused on fixing themselves rather than challenging structures. These are not just personal problems, they are social consequences of deeply embedded norms. Reclaiming our bodies, how do we do so? Some possible paths. Challenging beauty norms. Beauty is not natural, it is constructed, so we can reconstruct it. Diversifying representation. Supporting films, influencers, and creators who show unedited bodies. Rejecting or fixing culture. Not everything needs to be fixed. Bodies are not projects, they are homes. Underlying health versus appearance. Health exists at every size. Weight is not a moral indicator. Fitness is not aesthetic. Practicing embodied compassion. Treat your body as you would treat a friend, with patience, kindness, respect. Creating shame-free conversations with families, friends, partners, normalizing body hair, acne, stretch marks, scars, weight fluctuations, aging. These are not flaws, these are marks of a life lived, natural, evolving, growing, developing. Now, structural change. True liberation requires regulation of beauty ads, anti-discrimination laws passed on appearance, social media accountability for filters, mental health support, gender-sensitive health policies. And this is where the personal meets political. We live in a world that profits when we dislike ourselves. But here's the radical truth. Your body is not a problem to be solved. You are not meant to be flawless. You are meant to be human. And in a world that constantly tries to shape us, loving ourselves becomes a political act. Before we end today, I want you to imagine something. Not a perfect body, not a filtered face, not a version of you curated to please the world. Imagine instead a body that is unapologetically alive, a body that carries history in its scars, strength in its softness, beauty in its survival. Now imagine looking at that body, your body, without flinching, without editing, without negotiating with shame. Because here is the truth that society hopes you never realize. A person who accepts their body is powerful. A person who refuses to be humiliated is dangerous. A person who stops apologizing becomes unstoppable. The world has always benefited from our insecurities, from women doubting their worth, from men doubting their strength, from queer and trans people doubting their right to exist. From all of us, we are somehow not enough. But what if we simply said no more? No more shrinking ourselves, no more treating our bodies like unfinished projects, no more letting strangers, relatives, algorithms, or industries dictate our value. Starting today, claim the radical, rebellious truth. Your body is not public property. Your body is not a debate. Your body is not a problem. Your body is yours. Entirely, fiercely, irrevocably yours. And the moment you step into that ownership, you don't just liberate yourself, you challenge every system that profits from your self doubt. So, as you walk away from this episode, remember every act of self acceptance is an act of political resistance. Every moment of self kindness is a refusal to be controlled, and every time you choose to love your body, you are rewriting the world. Thank you so much for listening to The Personal Lens. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share The Personal Lens. Leave your comments at the email provided in the description. Until next time, be kind to your body and yourself and keep looking through the personal lens.